Welcome to Arts and Entertainment Houston Style. I'm your host, Alan Bourgeios, and tonight I have with me someone who I believe is going to be a musical genius and someone to watch, Michael Bloemer. Welcome.
Hello, Alan.
Let's go ahead and start with the basics. Describe what your music is.
Well, I have an array of music that I've produced over the last 4 years, and it would be described anywhere from ambient, down-tempo, chill house music all the way up to progressive trance.
Okay, why such a variety?
Well, I DJ'd for 20 years, and of course in that time frame I've been exposed to a lot of music. Played mostly clubs and after-hour events, and was always attracted to a dance beat with a darker sound. But as I got a little bit older and I got into this phase of my life, I began to really appreciate something you might want to listen to, you know, in a coffee house, or maybe doing some meditation in the morning. And for some reason, I just find it neat to try to fuse those energies together musically.
So you got more mellow? Yeah,
I got older and more mellow, for sure.
Okay. What started the process? How did you get into music?
Well, my mom used to tell me that when I would come home from school in the afternoons, I would come home and I'd pass the record store on the way home, and I would bring home a 45. At that time we were playing little 45s, and I would bring home something that I thought was really hot, and then a week or two later we would hear it on the radio. And my first aspiration in life was to be an actor, and I never pursued that, but what I did do is I got into mixing music, and from there it just kind of opened up for me. I met some people in the club business, and I was good at it, and I had a good taste in music, so I would say it was a gift.
So you were able to pick out hits before they became hits?
Yeah, pretty much, but I think one thing I've always been able to do, or where I was led with music, was becoming very, very progressive, and it was the music that I was playing, as a lot of DJs do, is way ahead of the game. It's something you might hear in a club, you might not hear on the radio ever. In fact, a lot of music and artists aren't really known until 5 and 10 years later for their work. So.
Right. Okay. So tonight, at the end of the show, we're going to hear a couple different styles.
Okay.
Go ahead and tell me the first one.
Well, what we're probably going to hear is we're going to hear music off my first published album, which is my third album. You can, it's called Sentient Beings, and you can check that out on iTunes right now. And the 3 tracks I think that we'll be able to hear are have a range from the down tempo up to what you might want to refer to as progressive house. And the first one will be Gaia, and it's dedicated to the idea, Gaia is another word for Mother Earth or the world, and there are a lot of organic instruments mixed with digital instruments in it, so there's the fusion that I'm talking about, and it's very mellow and it's emotional. I think it was for me. In fact, in production of most of the music, I never really take credit for understanding what I'm doing. I'm more of a channel, if you will, for music. So, and the subsequent tracks would probably be the 2 of my favorites, which I think can pretty much be heard and played in any club setting or on the radio. And that would be Leaving the Nile and Down the Rabbit Hole. Both of those are inspired by some spiritual philosophies that I've gotten into lately.
All right, well, you used an interesting statement that I've noticed from all the people I've interviewed and stuff. Channeling the music.
Sure.
Describe what you mean.
You know, for me, when I sit down in front of the computer, which is how I make my music, you just begin to get a feeling. And sometimes that feeling can be manifested in music. And when you're picking out sounds that might go together, suddenly you begin to get a blend, and a lot of times it ends up reflecting what I'm feeling or what I'm sensing. I totally believe that we all have gifts, and that we all have an innate ability to feel what's going on around us, and that at certain times of our life, or if not at any time of our life, we're able to be a conduit for something positive, and in some cases something negative. So for me, the music on the album Sentient Beings most of the tracks were written within 15 minutes. The basic sounds, the basic instruments, the basic feeling was done, and the real work was done in taking that mixture and spreading it out and sequencing it into something that had a feel and a story to it, and then putting it all together. Obviously you could see it was in a class and a time frame of music as far as my work goes.
Okay. Now you said that your stuff is available on iTunes.
That's correct.
Okay. How would they go to look for it?
You would look it up under Michael Bloemer, Bloemer, and the title of the album is Sentient Beings.
Okay, and that's the only album that's currently on, or do you have others?
That's the only published album that I have right now.
But you do have others that people can purchase as a CD?
I have mixed club CDs, and I have on my website, you can go to the website and pick and choose what you want, and I would produce that and send it to you if you'd like.
Okay. Now your website address is?
www.djmichaelbloomer.com.
Okay. And again, they can find you on iTunes under Michael Bloemer.
That's correct.
Correct? Great.
And I think also, very quickly here, by the time the show airs, on myspace.com/lightinfusion.
Okay. What is the next project you're working on?
I have an independent television show that wants me to do some sound work for their background music. And at the moment, I'm actually in a process of acquiring new equipment so I can begin compiling my old work into something that I can bring into the market today.
Bring it up to date,
Absolutely,
kind of.
yeah.
Wonderful. Digitalize it, whatever.
Well, mastering and production, but I have probably 60 or 70 tracks that haven't been published, and I'd like to pick the best of them and redo them and publish them.
Oh, great. Well, we look forward to seeing you here on the show again as you tell us, when they're available and stuff, and we'll definitely get the word out. I've had the pleasure of listening to some of your stuff, and I've really enjoyed it. Matter of fact, I played one CD earlier today about 3 or 4 times because I was enjoying, listening to it. And where I work during the day, that's great because it was relaxing, but yet still upbeat, kept the energy flowing and stuff. So awesome. I really enjoyed it. I thank you very much for coming.
My pleasure.
And that's our show for tonight. You'll be able to hear some of his music shortly. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next week.